make Medicare free and universal if you increase taxes. So if you are elected and make this push, would you need to increase taxes?
As I've said across this campaign, I am for taxing billionaires their wealth.
What about people who make less than $1 billion and less than $1 million, though, Dr. El-Sayed? What about people making less than $1 million?
So for the average person, and you look at your W-2, if you're an employee, he gets paid every 2 weeks or 4 weeks. After you pay your taxes, the next biggest check that comes off the top of your pay stub is to your health insurance company. So imagine instead of paying that to your health insurance company, whose CEO makes $20 million a year, instead you paid a little bit more in taxes for healthcare that you wouldn't lose if you lost your job or turned 26 or got married or got divorced. I think all of us would be a lot more interested in that kind of a system if we knew that our healthcare would be free at the point of care and would be free without having to worry about losing it in general. So there's an opportunity here, I think, to trade what we give to a big corporation who gets to decide who we get to see and who we don't for a little bit more paid into FICA. And I think that's a trade that's worth making. I think the broader public understands that that's a trade worth making, considering how many people are holding medical debt, a third of all Michigan households right now.
Just to be very clear, you're describing this trade-off. You are effectively acknowledging that people making less than $1 million could see their taxes go up. I just want to be very clear. Is that a yes?
I'm saying that we'd be paying for health care in a different way. Instead of paying a health insurance company whose CEO makes $20 million, I would much rather pay for durable health care into a government, which, of course, we all know provides health care for seniors who need health care the most. So if I'm trading paying a CEO to make more money or paying government to guarantee me health care.
What's going on, everybody? I appreciate you guys pulling up and hanging out with me for a little bit today. This is Abdul Rahman Muhammad El-Sayed, doctor, that is, who it's really funny because a lot of these people that are a part of the DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America, or let's just call them the communist wing of the Democrat Party, most of these people hadn't actually held jobs. So this dude's a doctor, but he's not actually a practicing doctor, physician, whatever you want to call him. And he basically has come out and said, yeah, we plan on raising the taxes. And we want the government to do the job that the private sector has done in our country for a very, very long time. The last time we had healthcare reform in our country, healthcare got worse and it got more expensive. Every time the government gets involved in an industry, the service gets worse and it gets more expensive. So if you think that, oh, you're not going to pay that much for healthcare, and the healthcare is going to be great, you're going to be able to be seen, when you actually need to be seen. How about you ask the Canadians? How about you ask the Canadians how that government ran, healthcare is? How about you ask them? Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel.
Absolute dog shit. It's actually insane that people say that, oh, it's free healthcare. It's the worst healthcare imaginable. I strained my groin in May, okay? In May. I got an ultrasound recently. They're like, okay, you have a hernia and a groin strain. Cool. They're like, you can go to the clinic, the surgeon, to go do a consultation. Cool. Go to the surgeon. Oh, your hernia is actually not bad enough for us to do surgery. Okay, cool. I haven't been able to run or do anything lower body or be at all active, and I'm in constant pain for the last 6 months, but okay, it's not bad enough for you. So they're like, oh, but what you can do is you can go the private route. I'm like, okay, cool. How does that look? They're like, okay, go to this website. Go to the website, contact them. They're like, oh, I see that you selected that you wanted to have this done in Ontario. You can't actually do it in Ontario because that's your home province. But what is allowed is if you want to go to another province. So if I live in Ontario, I can go get private done in Quebec. And if I'm in Quebec, I can't get it. If I lived in Quebec, I wouldn't have been able to do it there. I would have to go to Ontario because it's only if you do it out of province is it allowed. How fucking stupid is this? What sense does that make? So I'm going to have to drive to another province entirely just to get some decent air around here? It's actually insane. And they're like, okay, like your ultrasound, it didn't show anything here, but, now let's go for an MRI. And they'll call you and it'll be sometime in the next 6 months. What the Like, what the How is this actually a real society where, like, people actually live? And to be fair to the healthcare, like I see people going to the hospital every time they have a headache, so like it is hard, but at the same time, it's like this is not efficient. This is not effective. This should not be the way that we live. Like everybody who hates on the American system, I will tell you, in my time in America, when I went to any sort of doctor, hospital, anything, it is a world-class experience. So yes, you pay out of pocket a little bit, but you pay for it here through your taxes. That's what people don't realize. It's not actually free. You pay through it with your taxes. And it is extremely inefficient and ineffective.
No, the difference is socialized medicine. Anytime you get the government involved, it doesn't work. You just seen this dude out in Canada explain what he couldn't pay for it without driving a long distance, and they're being taxed into oblivion up there for healthcare that if you need an MRI, you're 6 months down the line. Do you know how many people die in Canada because they can't actually get care? Because if you do have an issue, you're 6 to 12 months before you can actually be seen by anybody that could solve whatever your health issue is. And they want to bring that foolishness here. It's just another way for the government to get in, take more money from you. And at that point, you don't even get to vote with your dollars in the socialized. They're going to take it from you and they're going to give you what they think makes the most sense for you. And more times than not, every time the government gets involved in anything, it's terrible. And there's no incentive for the people who provide the service to provide you a quality service because they're going to get paid no matter what. We don't want it. We do not want it. You have people in Canada coming down here to just pay out of pocket for service because at least they can be seen. This dude said it. Hey, down in America, yeah, you got to pay a little bit. And to be honest with you, it wasn't like this prior to the Affordable Care Act that is not affordable. It wasn't like this. Insurance premiums were cheaper. The deductibles were cheaper. Now insurance premiums have gone up. Deductibles have gone up. The service isn't as good, but Lord knows we don't want government in the middle and in the business of healthcare wholeheartedly for the American people. We're not interested in it, man. Do not support this foolishness.
For certain is that El Sayed is making it easier. Why? Because he is inconsistent with Michiganders of either side of the aisle, by the way. Someone who wants to defund police, defund ICE, who wants to abolish our concept of a border. He's just wrong for Michigan.
And I saw your early attack ads against him. You're using his full name in these attack ads, which has gotten some attention. Abdul Rahman Mohammed El Sayed. He goes by Abdul El Sayed. Are you trying to say, hint, hint to voters, he's Muslim?
Not at all. What we're saying what we're only saying to voters is a simple thing. He says he's the most dangerous candidate you can find. He's right. We should trust his words, not ours.
But why not just use his name, Abdul El Sayed, which he goes by?
Well, listen, I go by Timothy Eugene, and so I get called that all the time. Here's what I know without question. It's about what he stands for. And we're going to focus and bring attention to the fact that not only is he sympathetic for Hamas, not only does he run around with Hassan Pike or someone who said that Americans deserve 9/11, he should be held account for exactly where he stands and what he's for.
I agree with the senator here. He's absolutely right. And I'm a firm believer that, when people show you who they are, believe them. You listen to them. Now, he's trying to walk back some of these statements, but he is walking hand in hand with Hassan Piker, who is a enemy to America. He does not like our way of life and the way that we do business here. For the life of me, I don't understand why he won't go back to Turkey. I understand that he was born here, but he was raised in Turkey. Take your behind back there. Go implement that stuff. I do not understand these people that come from other countries, or were raised in other countries, and you want to come here to America. Those of us that are Americans, again, we're not saying that our country is perfect or without flaw, but what we do know is that our country and our system is the best system in the world. That's why we have so many people that want to come over here. But if you don't like it, sir, take your butt back to where you were raised at. I don't understand people like this.
His commercials are running now, and his lawn signs are everywhere, but they're thin, like his resume. paper thin. Let me explain.
Became a doctor to help people.
He's not a real doctor. He's a paper doctor. He doesn't have a license. He never had a patient. He can't even give away aspirin off an ambulance.
He rebuilt the health department after the politicians tore it down.
As far as I could tell, he's only had 2 real jobs in his life. First, he stopped here in the city of Detroit, had a quick cup of coffee as the city health director. While there, money through his department was funneled into the pet program of Mayor Mike Duggan's mistress, one designed to reduce infant mortality.
This is a terrible situation.
And after just 16 months on the job, Abdul got gone. The Duggan mistress scandal exploded after he tried to destroy the evidence, and infant mortality, it went through the roof.
That's the Abdul way, baby.
A couple years later, he gets the top medical gig with Wayne County.
Got thousands of glasses for kids, including me.
Yeah, glasses with Biden bucks. That's not a fix.
Medicare for All would be the de facto insurer for everybody.
Medicare for all? Like Canada? It's so bad over there, they come here for a doctor. Medicare for all. Come on, man. Time to...
Yeah, this dude right here, that was a great ad. I love this. He called him out and exposed him, and that's what needs to happen. People like this, they need to be exposed. And there's a running theme, with these DSA folks. They got a lot of education, very little work. A lot of education, very little work history. It seems like that's a running theme with these people. Don't you find that interesting?
Capitalism.
Socialism.
Why is that?
You're going to pay taxes anyway in this country, and I'd rather see the taxes go to things that help everybody.
I prefer socialism.
Why is that?
Because I think the American dream is everyone being equal.
Socialism or capitalism?
Socialism, my dude. Give everyone what they need, and everyone survives.
Socialism or capitalism?
Socialism.
Let's change it up a little bit, right? Let's try something else, something new.
Socialism or capitalism?
There's a lot in socialism we can really learn from to grow our country.
We just see socialism as a bad thing, but it really isn't.
Socialism or capitalism?
Capitalism, because I believe that you should be rewarded based on how hard you work.
Capitalism or socialism?
Capitalism, baby. Socialism has never worked anywhere in the world. It will never work. My mother and father fled Albania when I was 11 years old.
What was life like there?
Horrible. We had no running water. We had no electricity. We had no toilets. We had nothing. We barely had anything to eat.
The people who actually experience socialism, who experience communism, they're like, oh, heck no. And you got these weak, lazy Americans who think that the government will save them and take care of them. Sad, man. Sad.
The DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America, has released their political platform for 2026. And it's nuts. They're nuts. That's all I can say. It's like, you go read it for yourself. They're promising free everything to everybody. And they don't understand. They say, people say this, we might be dreamers, but we don't understand why we can't do this. Well, I can tell you. And that's the thing. I'm actually thinking about doing a separate video about it. It has occurred to me that you hear this all over the place, even here, that socialism never worked, and it hasn't. But the thing is, no one ever talks about specifically why it doesn't work. And we have economists on the show, and I try to get them to talk about that. But, it's so obvious to them, they really can't get down into the weeds and talk about it. And I'm starting to think that maybe somebody needs to do a video. Excuse me. And of course, I'm not going to write a book. I could, but the thing is, video is my thing. So I'd rather narrate.
I think the video, somebody needs to do it. And I think it would be phenomenal. Lord knows, if they did it, I would show it. Maybe we have to do a full live stream about it, watch it and discuss it. But people need to see this. These are old ideas that have been tried before that has never worked. I don't think people understand that this communist ideology has cost hundreds of millions of lives. Everywhere that they have attempted this, people have died. Everywhere that they have attempted this, people live in squalor. The majority live in squalor. You have a 1% of quote unquote government folks and elites that have everything, and everybody else is left to fend for themselves. And yet you have college campuses full of these daggone Marxist professors who are indoctrinating our young people, because the majority of people, who support people like El Said and who support this socialist communist movement, the majority of them have college degrees, meaning they have been indoctrinated. Those that have not gone to college do not have degrees. Most of them are anti-socialism. So that right there lets you know that, honestly, a couple of things need to happen. First and foremost, the federal government has to get out of the business of subsidizing student loans so any and everybody can just go to college. And the other thing is that don't send your kids to these schools. Do not send your kids to these colleges. They don't come back productive citizens. They come back indoctrinated fools.
This is exactly what El Sayed and these limousine socialists are actually selling to the American people. They're not promising you industry. They're not promising you good jobs. They're not promising self-sufficiency and a good industrial economy. What they're promising is redistribution. Again, we've seen this in Europe and in the United States. The idea that you can build real prosperity by just redistributing assets from one group to another group, that's not how you build real prosperity. You have to actually sustain the foundation of the economy. That is what the President of the United States has worked us towards for the past 18 months. It's going to continue to pay dividends. But I think, again, Laura, this is an important point. A lot of Americans look at this rising tide of socialism and say, how did we get here? We got here by 40 years of bipartisan leaders selling our industrial base to foreign countries, allowing low-wage immigrants to come in and compete with Americans for jobs, by destroying the foundation of the middle class. That's how you got socialism. How you fix that problem is by doubling down on Donald Trump's economic nationalism, not going back to the way we've done things for the past 40 years.
It's failed everywhere it's tried.
It's failed everywhere it's tried, and it always leads to socialism. It always leads exactly where we are. The only way to get out of it is to double down on the economics of the past 18 months.
Hey, the choice is clear. You cannot support the Democrats. You cannot support the communist wing of America. I know some people don't like J.D. Vance. Others, are more in favor of Rubio. But whoever it is in 2028, it has to be whoever wins on the Republican ticket. And in the Senate, in this upcoming election here for 2026, in the midterms, we have to make sure that we get out and vote. And we got to make sure that Republicans are winning. Democrats want to destroy our nation. Simple as that. They want government to be in charge of every aspect of your life. I'm not interested in that. I am not interested in that at all.
Socialism is now on the ballot across America. So how did we get here? Let's start back in 2016. Bernie Sanders is running for president. He starts this nationwide movement. Instead of just ripping it apart, the Democrats force him out of the race, and then we know what happens from there. They did the same thing in 2020, by the way. 2018, AOC takes down an establishment Democrat, Joe Crowley. He was a part of the leadership, chairman of a committee. She takes him out. In 2025, they needed more reinforcement. No one thought he could win in New York City, but Madami wins with the help of social media. And if you look at the Democrats, because of all of the splits, they feeling like the establishment not representing them, 48% of Democrats say that they feel that their party has betrayed them.
Look at that. I mean, the Democrat Party is fractured right down the middle, and it seems like they're in shambles. But independents and conservatives, we're going to be the ones that have to save this country from the crazy far left lunatics. It's going to be us. So we got to stand up. We can't just sit back idle, in these quote unquote low voter turnout races. You got to get out. You got to get up. You got to go and support the right candidates. And it's really about supporting the supporting American way of life. That's what this is about. Hit the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel, turn the notifications on to all so you never miss an upload. Consider joining the ARP family, or you can buy your brother a coffee. That link's in the description box below. I appreciate the love and support. And as always, keep God first. Stay prayed up. It's getting crazy out here in these streets. We'll catch up with you guys next time. Peace.
It is God who arms me with strength. Yeah, I'm battle ready. He trains my hands for battle. My heart stays steady. But thanks be to God, He gives us the victory. Through my Lord Jesus Christ, fear can't live in me. I was down to the dirt, red clay on my shoes, old pain in my shirt, oh so bruised. In the Lord hit my chest, kicked air from my breath, put power in my step.